Excellency Vice President, the Right Honorable Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Ministers, the former Vice President and the former Prime Minister, their Highnesses, the cultural leaders, the Honorable Ministers and Members of Parliament, all the NRM and local government leaders, the commanders of the armed forces, and the wananchi of Uganda. Atika mbanze mbatebeze katoito aha muganda umuganda muri nyoro bagubaza bata umuganda contribution nubwo buganda ka ntebeze katoito abayijukuru umuganda gwa bunyoro aha burembwa NRM ati hariho cy'abanyankore barukweta ehururu ninga abaganda baketa kawefube umuryono baketa bata ati umuganda gwo kubanza gwecyoka kino arutaro wa burimba NRM bikaba biri by'umwezi nkaga okwa kabiri obutwatera kabamba twarugayo n'emotoka twaraba kasambya twasara tweja na bingora twagenda Kyenjojo ari Kyenjojo twakikama tweja Kagadi twagenda Kagadi twakikama tweja police station Isunga elioko maiso aho tuhewe embundu RPG 7B abaseja bamini bakabagerekereho na bomu isatu ezo zikatukonyera maiso aho twaragaho Isunga twaika Karuguza erihe na hano mahiro zinga maira abiri aho twasanga ka police station tuheho otubundu tusatu aho hati engude enungiho ekabere kuruga Karuguza kwija hano ka kumiro kwata oguru kugenda nkoko konga twatwerarikirire abatanzania bakaba inamahe mubende twatekereza ngo basobora kwija kututanga mu maiso hano twasaramo kuraba hagato uko akaguto kabimuno tingumanya naitwa arabire okusarira Karuguza twagenda uko mu buguto bubi mu kibira okushikya sahanka bukargaho bwira tukyari mu buguto okushikya mujya kumpabara eitwara biro kwa gato tujya twahika nkoko saze kilo nka saha 5 ze kilo hanyuma twarga nkoko twagenda ntwetwe ntwetu ekiboga no twatere base yitu. So abantu babunyoro tukabaramu tubaratarabanize n'abapolisi batohire mbundu busaho utahuteize zona tukaziyaho mu Businge twabahubira akajambu ate ogwo kaguri umurundi gwo kubanza. Ogwa kabiri 85 twatera Kabamba General Sare enako zo mwezi urunako rwo mwezi rumu January 85 behe muntu nyingi ati baraba cyaka kuri yo mu mpungi baragaho bajya kegegwa oko right on nabanje yabe nabaza hapuyo nanyo nariga kuri n'abasirikare runana kujya kubugana bana ba Sare twa okushanga n'umunyoro bacyataki okushangana okwitirana twitirana birembo erinka ondi okayendugireno aho no twaitirine abantu amahaga bagene Sare enakuzo mwezi mwenda January 85 twarara hanso hey no mwiga nko bagweta umurunyoro omugera hey nekisaru ahanyuma bwanca twagenda hisomero lya Birembo abasejja bobote bajja batusangaho saha nka itano twarwana Burembo amani twababinga ekiro twaragaho twagenda kusesa tukaturi twaraba nkoko ntwetwe twagaruka kuri umurukora. That was ejo kabiri Karitango mugambe ngo Karitango ya kabiri ya kasatu abantu beto bana bagenda kwiguraho oburemu obwa Rwenzori 85 mugwakanaho bakaraba hano bagenda bagenda Rwenzori ogwakana n'ubutwatera amasindi enakuzo mwezi abiri okwa kabiri 84 okutwahe mundu nyingi muno nzuza tsoboise okushingura obulemu. Karitango ya katano ni recruitment no tukatera hoima oboni ninyoya yebembera abaserikale kutera hoima aho enakuzo mwezi asatu okwa mukaga 84 then yo mukaga nabo amboine numbaza ba contact group abaikere nibatusagika nibatusirikira abaserikale nibatusirikira obukonyezi nabo ekyo ndozire tinkozeso mukisagunu okugambira abayukuru omuganda gwa Bunyoro ahaburemu bwa NRM orutaro oburemu kubahweire ngo kumbarize mwikere mutusagika omukoma mwebare muno mugenda mweso no kusagika. I was enumerating the contribution of the people of this area to the NRM struggle. I was mentioning the 7 categories of their contribution, which I don't want to repeat because they have heard them. Congratulations to all of you on this occasion of the 37th anniversary of the NRM victory in 1986. That victory came about because of the NRM's 4 principles that we had distilled out of the chaotic politics and governance that had bedeviled Uganda for almost 556 years, ever since the rule of the last Museveni king, Wamara, Ruhanja, Njojebunga. Now, some people talk about Uganda as if Uganda started with the British. I really feel offended when I hear people talking like that. We have been here since time immemorial. And we have been here with all sorts of governments. One of the few times we had peace in the whole area was under the dynasty of the Batwezi, from about 900 AD to about 1350. And this is what I'm talking about here in summary. When the Batwezi dynasty, you hear them, the Batwezi, Wamara, Mulindwa, Ndahura, what the Baganda call Mukasa. We call him Mugasha. Those are all Batwezi. Some were princes, but others were kings. Isimbwa, Simba is a Mutwezi. So during that time, this part of Uganda had peace. That's why you hear some of these Wananchi still worship the Batwezi. They think they were God, they were demigods, because they had brought peace. Now, when their kingdom collapsed for reasons I don't know, the successor dynasties of the Babito in Bunyoro, Toro, Congo, Balangira in Buganda, the Bahinda in Ankole, Karagwe, Buhaya, Bujinja, etc., the Bashambo in Mpororo, the Bayinjinya in Rwanda, the clan chiefs in Buchiri. That's what we call Lango. Lango is called Buchiri. You know, I really get sick when I hear people talking as if they are foreigners here. I am from here. Nyondo msita wa hanu. Inyo abajungu mugende mwisho nebyanyi. Nyondo wa hanu. So Lango, the name for Lango is Buchiri. Achori, Gani, had been, all these fellows, these groups, had been incapable of uniting our people and were in constant bankrupt wars of greed and ignorance until the colonialists came on the scene and assigned them to the dustbin of history. Abajungu bayizire obo bukama kama ubona babuteka mu babwihaho abakabo esazire mu bekara mu ntaro ni barwana bonka na bonka Buganda Bunyoro Ankole Rwanda Nkole omujungu yizire bona yabukwata yabo bagazo kurwana kabarega mwanga bakaba bamazire okwemaramu amaani. The colonialists added to the bankrupt politics of tribal chauvinism pushed by the chiefs the poison of religious sectarianism. Abajungu aba bakama nibarwana entaro za mahanga. Omjungu yija yaba yaho bona yabakwata kabarega mwanga abandi bona babundara bafoka abayiru babajungu. Hati konka okesala salamu kwa mahanga oku kwasigaramu hata abajungu kubeija bayongeramu obutwa bukwesala salamu okwa madini. Abakatoliki, abaprotestanti, abasiramu hatu twaba n'obutwa bw'emiringo ebiri, obutwa bwa mahanga okunobanagana okwa mahanga na okunobanagana okwa madini. They added, pushed by the chiefs, the poison of religious sectarianism. Catholics, Protestants, Muslims, Jews, etc., that had caused so much human hemorrhage in Europe. Not forget the conflict between the Hindus and the Muslims that had caused the breakup of the Indian subcontinent into the countries of India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. Obo obo madini na mahanga buto bwakabi muno busisire bitweka bingi byensi buraya buhindi nkawo koyona na hanu. This bankrupt politics of identity, chauvinism, ethnicity, and religion could not allow the young state of Uganda, following independence in 1962, or its democratic institutions to survive. The crisis between Mutesa and Obote in 1966 and between Obote and Amin in 1971 forced the student revolutionaries to take up arms and lead the masses in the effort to destroy the colonial army, the Uganda army, as well as putting forward the 4 principles of the NRM that, as pointed out above, we had distilled out of watching the chaos between 1960 and 1986. You are familiar with the 4 principles: patriotism, Gonza Uganda, Pan-Africanism, Gonza Africa, socio-economic transformation, okuhindura embera y'abantu, and democracy. Government emerera musingi y'abantu. It is these principles that enable Uganda to build institutions such as the patriotic political parties. A party like the NRM is not a party of a tribe or a religion. It is a national political party. That's why we win elections on the first round. We have never gone for a second round. But in 1962, when they had elections based on those sectarian grounds, nobody could get even 40% of the support in the country. Because Parliament ekaba eina abakorasi kinana na babiri. Bakabata koma president niga prime minister na karuru ka abantu bona. No koma kwa bona bakana bakoma abakorasi bakoma prime minister. At Parliament ya nkaga nebiri ekena abakorasi kinana na babiri. UPC n'okwiba kwayo batunga abakorasi 37. DP bambe ikale wejegire yatunga 24. Kabaka yeka n'okwiba n'engeso zabo batunga abakorasi 21. Nkabanduho nyunkanduho imwe mkweta history yuni mbeta current affairs nabana abagurisi bakabaroho bano ba second bakintu bakabaroho bona nibaroro parliament y'abakorasi 22 hakaba hatarimu ekitebe ecyabere kine nimusobora kubara percentage UPC 37 no kwiba kwayo UPC 37 ekyo kikakiri kitebe cy'aba protestant n'abasalamu abamu. DP kitebe cy'abakatoliki entebe abakorasi 24. kabaka yeka n'engeso za yombi okutina kinisa abakomi intimidation bakaba ina abakorasi 21. Norora to get majority 50% of the 82 you needed 42 at least, but nobody could get 50%. Why? Because of the sectarian politics. Now when you see that NRM is winning all this time on the first round, it is because NRM is not a sectarian party. If it was a sectarian party, it would never win. If you try to create sectarianism of religion, you cannot get even 40% of the votes. If you go for tribes, much less. So therefore, it is these principles that enable Uganda to build institutions such as the patriotic political parties, the army. You cannot build an army with sectarian ideology. This is the problem you get in some of these countries. When you hear that a country cannot defend itself, it needs the UN to come and defend it. Big shame. Aba UN okundwanira yo. Obo ngwejegire nkabire mbeirenta. But the mistakes start with that poison. If you believe in sectarianism, there's no way you can build a national army or the judiciary and so on that have guaranteed peace all these years. It is those principles that enabled us to build these institutions which have guaranteed the peace you are talking about. That is why we are celebrating now. Patriotism, loving Uganda, and Pan-Africanism, loving Africa, reoriented the Ugandans from following the politics of identity, tribes, religion, gender, etc., to following the politics of the legitimate needs of the people: peace, consumer goods, health, development, education, wealth creation, markets for our products, etc. Izo tukawasomesa twabagambira sti muruge habya mahanga, muruge habya madini, okwesera salamu madini, mureke okurora ogu muntu wa wehangaki ninga wadiniki, murore ebyetago byanyu nibisana, mwena mwine ebyetago bikusana, mwena numurumu enjara, numukwatwa, what do they call thirst? Umulinyoro bajeta what? Iruho, that's Nyankore. Numukwatwa iruho, numurware ndwaire, ebizibu byanyu nibimu, nibisana. abwenki abantu abebizibu bikusana nibesarasaramu nibecwamu. That was the message of the NRM. On account of that, our economy has grown from a miserable $1.5 billion in 1986 to 48 billion by the end of June 2023. The GDP per capita would be US dollars 1,067. You remember that to enter the middle income category, you need the GDP per capita of US dollars 1,039. This is now the second financial year we have been in that category. So we have already entered the middle income country, the one they have been talking about, but we need 3 years to officialize it. You need 3 years consecutively to be recognized as a middle income country. However, in my view, all these are low targets which Uganda will easily surpass. Why? You remember my admonitions about losing value through the export of raw materials. This low middle income economy we are talking about is still actually mainly a raw materials producing economy, where for a kilogram of coffee we get US dollars 2 for bean coffee, while the wiser foreigners who roast the coffee, grind it, and pack it for sale in the supermarkets get US dollars 50 for the same kilogram. Ogwejegera kwa bapiragura hati hano ntutunga $2 abakiro y'omwani bali abahera abagezi kubakutwara omwana ogwo bagukaranga bagusa bagutoma ibipapura bo batunga $50. Ito twatunga 2 abagezi batunga $50. Omwana waitu I have been trying to wake up our people, and I think that I have finally woken up some Ugandans from this sleep of ignorance. We are going to add value to more and more of our coffee and the other raw materials: cotton, maize, forest products, minerals, etc. This broad spectrum value addition movement will jumpstart our economy in a fairly short time to a $500 billion economy of US dollars 500 billion. I don't want to hear this economy of 48 billion, 50 billion, 60 billion. Ejo ni economy ya wejegezi. Abantu abarakutunda embire numanya kwisama rwimwe. Embire ibitoke byembire bamanya banyoro. Embire bazumanya. Hata umuntu atakumanya utakumanya kwisamarwa atunga embire azuguzondi ijo uriyo wagura embire abantu yahisa nuyanyuke shande eshanda gihama marwa amarwa gehamu waragi esente zona abantu yazitwara iwo tsigara hambire ati nimba shomese nimbajantinga orukise mbire orukinge mbire abanu yanyuke shande abanu yahisa marwa no kuteka jiwara jimu kuteka abanu yagiteka for all products omwani pamba. The raw material producer should be the one to make the final product. If we do that, this economy will jump to a $500 billion economy rather than just dozens of billions of dollars. We now have the electricity, and we are adding more. We have the varied and massive raw materials And increasingly, we have the entrepreneurs, local and foreign, and we have the African market that we have put in place with our Pan-Africanist communities. I've got one of my friends from Dubai, Mr. Deepak, is there. That man has invested in a number of areas, oxygen and so on. You remember, oxygen. But oxygen oxygen. Therefore, on this occasion, I want to emphasize 5 points. These are: be clear about development. Entunguka, enkurakurine, donglobo, inachori, apolu, inateso, and wealth, obugeiga, obuguda, lonyo. Twine okwetegereza ebigambo bino bibiri. Entunguka, omulinyolo bayeta enkulakulane? Enkulakulana, okay. Ekigambo ky'olujungu development, enkulakulana, entunguka. Nk'oluguudo luno olutwatongoza izoba lya hati, eyo nkulakulana, eyo n'entunguka. Beitu omuntu talikulya chorus, tukujja kugenda chorus n'ekijiko okatandika okutimbaho onindya enkulakulana. Olina okulya ebyokulya n'obitunga mu miringo ebiri. N'olima ebyokulya ninga n'oba olina sente n'obigula. So the road will not solve your poverty problem directly. You must use the road to grow the food or get money to buy the food. The same with the clothes, the same with whatever you want. So therefore, be clear about development and Tunguka on the one side, and wealth of Geiga. Be clear that socio-economic transformation involves the whole of society to move on two axes: money-based wealth creation with the Chivaro and mass education. Number 3 or 4, stamping out corruption from all government agencies in the central and the local governments. Number 5, stamping out sectarianism. Number 4, stamping out sectarianism and protecting, and number 5, protecting our environment. Those coming to Kakumiro today for the celebrations have seen how many tarmac roads we have done in Bunyoro and how much we have extended the electricity network. The NRM has, however, all this time been telling you that you do not eat tarmac roads, but you eat the food that you have either grown or bought. The same applies to clothing, housing, mode of locomotion, etc. The latter are all part of wealth, and the former, the roads, the electricity, are part of development. Therefore, for wealth, we are telling you that every adult must engage in wealth for money with the Kibaro, either as an entrepreneur or as an employee in the four sectors of commercial agriculture, industry, services, and ICT. No excuses for the Wakongozi. You may have a development, but if people are asleep, you can continue with poverty. Why? It is because what eradicates poverty, obworo, obwavu, obunaku, chan, etc., is wealth. Development is a mere enabler of wealth creation. Enkurakurana tekusobora kumaraho obunaku. Enkurakurana amasanyalazi, engudo, amaizi gemidumo, amashomero, amarwaro, nibukerezo musingi. Konko nokozo musingi ogwo kukora obugeiga omuka yawe ningo mukampuni yawe obuguda obona burukumaraho obunaku. Obunaku nubingwa obuguda. Enkurakurana nesobora kubaho Kampala engudo ziriyo buri kyeka. Bitabayaya bakusinga obungi nobasanga Kampala. Korasi erhanu amasanyalazi gali aho, za disco ziri aho, za internet ziri aho, omunaku nawe arihe aho omuyayi tene kyari kukora. Nabwekyo nimbasaba nokutera muno abebembezi okuhabura abantu ngu obunaku obworo nubingwa obugeiga. Obugeiga nobushanga nkahi okuhinga nokulisa nokujuba okurukora sente kandi okwinemu ekibaro. Aha kabiri amakorero amahango ninga make. Aha kashatu obuhereza nkeduka ninga ka hoteli ninga tourism obu nobuhereza kandi hariho ebyoma ebizira hati bya ICT nibihereza obugeiga. Nabwekyo kumuragumene mugambe byombi, mugambe entunguka enkurakurana eyatwena na obuguda obugeiga obugaga obwa buri maka, obwa buri kampani, obwa buri muntu. Secondly, our principle number 3, socio-economic transformation, okuva omumbere y'obujajja netubeera ab'omulembe. We need to go from okukora ekida kyonka, teach me each keken, subsistence economic activities, and be commercial with the Kibaro, and also ensure mass education so that the whole society embraces a science-led society and get out of ignorance and superstition where people believe that a tallow, when somebody has got a swollen leg, where people believe that a tallow is caused by a dogo, witchcraft, and not by a bacteria known as Staphylococcus and Streptococcus bacteria that cause that cellulitis. Tuino kuruga ombutamanya nturaba omukusoma n'okukora emirimu ya sente. Therefore, all physical obstacles that interfere with education for all, such as school charges, abakusaba sente amasomero ga government, esente za government akusaba ebisare amasomero ga government tukazihaho omwaka 2008 betu ba headmaster abamu bakajema baikara ne basaba esente amasomero ga government cyambiriza abana abamu okurugo mu masomero ekyo ntugenda kukiguraho orutaro mujya kuhurura orutaro rw'amani. Since many families cannot yet afford the paying of money for education, the government must provide free education in government primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions. The present dropout rate at the secondary schools level of 64% is not acceptable. Stay tuned. You will hear what we shall tell you in a few weeks. Corruption will be stamped out. I congratulate some government agencies. I've seen people that had stolen PDM money and Myoga money being arrested or being forced to refund the money. That is good. However, it's not enough. I have heard the Bazukuru crying about the district service commissions selling local government jobs. Abejukuru bangambire ngo emirimo ya local government erahakatare oyino kusasura ngunu basasura bagure emirimo aba bantu aboni mu mbakenise mukwato bujuru tubakwate tubatware ruzerere emyanya. I have heard of girls being exploited sexually as bribes for jobs. Get evidence, please, devoted members of the public, and we expand and roast those pigs. Embisezo, twagala kuzocha. The DSOs and the CIDs should also be on notice. How does such corruption go on in your area of responsibility, and you do not know, or if you know, you do not report? Police, they will be the same. You still hear some elements pushing sectarianism of tribe and religion. We long ago banished sectarianism. I believe it is both a criminal and electoral offense. Somebody can lose his or her seat of an elected office if it is proved that he used sectarianism even when he is already elected. Bine byokosa mahanga na madini tukabitekeira ombiragiro omuntu okugamba tumunkome awuka ndimunyoro kasangirwe ninga kagamba munkome abokwa ndio mfuruki wanyu turenda kunyaza abanyoro nonyaza abantu nofoke nabo. Hati abantu abo bona twatunga obujulizi orukozesa olulimi olwo olukubaganisa abantu ngunaronda obururu nakomwa kandi omulimo gwabe lubaka bamuronzire nibagumbingamu nabwe ekimwa ababunyoro, which is lucky to be an area where many of our tribes are. Make sure that you get rid of this nonsense. You elect somebody because he or she is good, not because of tribe, because of religion, because of this. Mwihe obutuobo omu Uganda, obutuo mwihemu. Mukoma omuntu habwe ebikorwa bye birungi. I believe it is both a criminal and electoral offense. Somebody can lose his or her seat of an elected office even if it is proved that he used sectarianism, even if he is already elected. Why then preserve such parasites? Get the evidence and we get rid of them. They can also be prosecuted criminally. Finally, the issue of the environment, the forests, the wetlands, the river banks, the lake shores, the hilltops, etc., are crucial for our survival. We need water and clean air. Ningonza mmanye ngombintu byone bikuru ebintu bikusinga obukuru nembeho nejembeho eturukwitya hamwe n'amaizi aguturukunywa kandi agarukumeza ebyokurya byone bitukurya nabwekyo kandi amaizi ago garigo mu bisaru garigo mu bibira nabwekyo abantu abarukusisa ebibira bakasisa ebisaru abo bantu banyanzugwa ba Uganda ningoza mukimanye abakwata okusobora okugamba nti nganjani ya Uganda okatema omusingi gwaitu ogw'obwomezi amaizi ebisaru enyanja ebibira nugwo musingi gw'obwomezi bwaitu ogw'Ruhanga yatuhaire. Therefore, interfering with the water bodies or with the forests is actually an act of grave enmity, much bigger than coin or these other enemies. You are threatening our livelihood, our survival. Nimugonza tufoke irungu lyo musenyu nkabanda abanda amurora ahando. We need water and clean air. Both of them come from the wetlands and forests. You cannot say that you are a patriot of Uganda, but you damage our wetlands, our forests, our river banks, our lake shores, our steep gradients on which our livelihood depend. Agency yitu Ruhanga yatuhaire Ruhanga kajango omulingo gwayo ebyo bare mukorore ebyo ebare biba hamto wakasozi ebare ebyo hagati y'ekibare n'itaka amaizi niho garaba agensuro ensuro mujimanya ensuro muri nyoro kirumu amaizi ag'enshuro nigarwo mu mabare denka riri ibare rihariya noshanga riri hansi konka hagati yaryo n'itaka hariho umuhanda ati nshobora kwera kugwa amaizi garaba hagati y'ibare n'itaka gashononoka hansi gegukira mu ruhanga nuko kurira ngo n'enshuro mwana mtakukimanya enshuro nyuri mbagambira abo kubanywe nikashangirwe ka nyondo musita wa hanu nka kuri oito ntungamo gari amabare gumurora kuri oruguru ndugogo omuninyoro bakweta okuleja niko bakweta mulinyoro okuleja ago amabara ago nugo garukuleja enjura ekataho muitaka hagati yorwazi n'itaka hanyuma ahanso mu umuruhanga ukatunga inshuro. So the abantu okurimo mabara mu kisomesa abantu bakirugeho amabare bagareke omukasozi muri mahansi ahiguru amabare gasigare gaine emiti orundo rugo rwaitu orukwata ensoro okuturetera okuretera ensoro ahansi umuruhanga hangana ko yahangire nseyi. Even food is possible because of air, water, etc. You become a munyanzigwa enemy when you damage this. 40% of our rain comes from these forests and wetlands. It is the 60% that comes from the oceans. How can we destroy ourselves in this way on account of some greedy people? Therefore, be alerted. In a few weeks, I will launch a mega effort to get rid of this parasitism also. Ruhanga abakume.